All right, y'all. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J is live. We are in the building, ready to get into a fabulous show as we do every single week as the flagship show of Legacy Internet Radio. A lot to get to tonight. Yesterday was the NFL championship game. Some of y'all like to call that the Super Bowl. There's some stuff that I noticed in that 4-hour telecast that we definitely got to get into the discussion. We got a full crew and we're ready to bring it to you. You rocking with us and we rolling with y'all. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J is live right now.
It's about that time. It's about that time to get
Button your lip, open your ears, strap on your thinking cap. Socially conscious talk that's entertaining with a dash of humor and the top sports stories of the week. It's time for Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J.
Sellers has Jordan. Jordan with 2 seconds to go. Puts it up and scores at the buzzer. Michael Jordan has won it for Chicago. Manning lobs it. Burris alone. Touchdown, New York.
Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. He hits one deep to right center. That ball is out of here. The Yankees win the pennant.
If they lying, then you must be half stepping. Ain't no half step when Marcus J is live. Be down with us tonight. 804-402-2893. Be down with the flagship show. Heard live from the den of Legacy Internet Radio every single Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, until we roll up out this joint. Special thank you to those folks listening to us right now on TuneIn. Special thank you to those folks right now listening to us on Streamer, on your iPhone, on your Android, on your computer, on your television. If you got one of them smart TVs, we thanking you. Shout out to those folks listening to the replays right now on YouTube as well as on iTunes. It's because y'all rock with us. That's why we going to roll with y'all. So we got a lot to get into tonight. I'm going to send this microphone around the room and I'm going to get the crew into the discussion before we get into it. And they say that ladies first. So I'm going to make sure that we get the lady introduced here first. Of course, you heard her last week make her Legacy Internet Radio debut right here on this very show. You got our brand new sister Tasha's up in this joint. What's up, Tasha?
What's going on?
How you doing today?
I'm good. It's Monday, yo. I'm so glad to be off work. I don't know what to do.
Girl, you got the look on your face like you glad that you are done.
Look, I'm going to Vegas in like 2 days.
Oh,
I'm already on the plane.
You're going to be that person.
What?
You're going to be that person?
No work will be done.
Oh, my goodness. My goodness. My goodness. So
That's so
black. We're going to get you to tell us about the event that you had last week. So in a few, we're gonna get you to rap to us a little bit about that. Of course, sending the mic around. This brother is our everyman. He's like the utility player. If you understand baseball, he's like the dude that could catch. He could play third base. He might play some first. You know what I mean? You know, he can't run too fast, so we can't put him in center field. But he might play them corners. Mr. 3375. What's up, brother?
What's going on, man? How you feeling today?
I'm chillaxing today, man. You doing all right?
Doing good, man. Like she said, it's Monday. I'm glad to be off work. Glad to be in my comfort zone right now.
I can dig it, man. I'm glad to hear that neither one of y'all feel like y'all at work right now, so that's a good thing. This is our home. This is where we kind of chill and unload and have a little bit of fun and looking at the agenda, the scripts, as they say, for tonight's discussion. I'm pretty sure is definitely going to be some fun that is had. So you hear this brother usually on the first Monday of every single month. He's my brother, my partner, and last week he called out, but that's why he's here on the second Monday of the month this month. What's up, brother? Big Rube.
Yo.
I said, what's up, brother? Big Rube.
Yo.
What's up, man?
Not much, man. It's chilling.
You doing all right?
Everything's beautiful except for
Yeah.
this.
You got a broken wing?
I mean, it ain't really broken. It's kind of sprained.
You got a sprained wing?
Yeah.
What you did? I told you, you don't just be walking up on people, smacking them in the back of the head for no reason. That's how come you hurt yourself.
I mean, some people need it.
Break yourself, fool.
I mean, I got to give it to him.
Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah, man.
That's the way
but
it
you know,
is.
sorry, I'll be good in a week.
Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully you get your strength back and everything works out for you. We can get you some good, legal drugs, and I'm sure if you talk to the right person, we can get you some good illegal drugs too if you're dealing with some pain. So,
All right.
Yeah, all right. Ain't no #Steppin Marcus J live from the Den Legacy Internet Radio. You want to be down with us? Call us. I'm opening up the phone lines as we speak. So call us at 804-402-2893. Last Wednesday, I just was so happy and honored to be able to go to this wonderful, wonderful event that we first learned about last Monday from our sister Tasha. Why don't you tell us about the event that we at Legacy Internet Radio and a whole bunch of other people were there as well. I got some contacts that I made that night too. That's a good look. But tell us about the event.
We have my company, Brown Girls Event Planning, hosted a happy hour at Loft 1717 East Franklin Street, Shockoe Bottom, Richmond, VA. Shout out to Sean Mentor, Tamika Epps, the owners of Loft 17. It was a great turnout, rain and all. Like I was very, very pleased. Shout out to everybody who came and brought water for the water crisis in Flint, Michigan. We will be shipping that off next week to our brothers and sisters in Flint. It was good. Like I could not have been happier. Richmond don't come out in the rain. Like everybody is made of sugar when it rains for some reason. So,
Yes. It was definitely standing room only. It was a packed house. It was a great event, and I was happy to be able to be there. And,
thank you so much for coming. I appreciate
absolutely.
it.
Absolutely. And, hopefully, there's some relief that's had in Flint, but the reality is they're not going to get a whole lot of relief until they change those pipes. We're going to talk about potentially, if we get a little bit of time, we can talk about Flint later on in the show. So, but I definitely want to get that out. 804-402-2893. Yo, I have it on good authority that there was a football game that was played last night.
That's what I heard.
I had heard something that there was a football game that was played last night. Tosh, you watched the game?
I watched the first half.
What'd you do after the first half?
Man, I went to bed. I got to be at work at 7.
For
I
real?
knew
You were
as
that person?
soon as Carolina got on the field, that very first play when Carolina got on the field and Cam was struggling with that handoff,
Yeah.
I knew they were going to lose.
Yeah. And when that play happened, it's crazy too, because I said 27-17 Carolina was kind of my number, but I also said I should put some money on Denver because I just had a feeling they would win, even though I didn't think they would. But when that play happened, the play that you're talking about, that first sack, I said, oh, word, it's going to be that kind of game? I said it like out loud.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is going to be that kind of game. Jay, what you think, man?
Well, I know Denver won me some money.
So you did bet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why you look like the cat that swallowed a canary right now?
My thing was I knew Cam ain't faced a blitzing defense like that all season.
You saying that with bass in your voice like you a Denver fan.
I'm
his chest all out and everything.
Well, I'm still a DeMarcus Ware fan.
Okay.
Cowboys all day. But at the end, so I was happy for him at the end of the day. But I knew that defense was going to come at him, and he wasn't going to be able to handle the pressure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to take a lot of time breaking down the game for those folks who are listening and you rolling your eyes. No, we're not going to break down football. What I did want to kind of talk about was a few things that I got out of the game. First thing is Cam Newton. Let's talk about Cam. Rube, I want you to jump in here because we all know about how Cam has been portrayed in the media, particularly in the last few weeks, but realistically all season. I didn't know what the hell a dab was. I still am not quite sure I know what a dab is. I think it's a dance. I think it's something that he does when he scores. I'm kind of a corny guy when it comes to that kind of stuff. But he had caught a lot of flack from particular, to be honest with you, let's just keep it 100, non-black people.
Yeah.
White folk had some issues with Cam Newton this season. Why don't you tell us why you think white folk had issues with Cam this season, and then we can talk about what we saw from Cam yesterday, but we'll save that.
I mean, who wants to see a successful black man do work?
Other
on
successful
now.
black men.
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just be honest. He is
Come
not your
through.
prototypical quarterback. You know, your prototypical quarterback is a drop back passer who passes a lot, doesn't really move, and, you know, he just happens to be Caucasian for the most part. And I know this because the team that I rep has one of those, and that's where they specialize in. And hence why RG3 did not work out very well in Washington. They specialize is a drop back passer who doesn't move a lot. And that's why Jason
Collins.
no. Jason Collins is a basketball player.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I don't even think he's in the NFL anymore.
I know
Well,
you're talking about.
Yeah,
the
but
black
we've
kid.
had plenty of quarterbacks.
Jamarcus Russell.
I'm sorry?
Jamarcus Russell. Vince
that's
Young.
Oakland.
No, that's Oakland. No.
But we've had plenty of quarterbacks who had skills in other areas. However, they don't work very well with the Redskins
Campbell.
offense because Jason Campbell, thank
Yeah.
you, because
See.
they like drop back passers. And the thing about here's the crazy part about it. It's not like the dude went and just like did dumb stuff. He didn't. You know, you ain't see him in the news, you know, smacking some woman or girlfriend as somebody else has done recently. You don't see him
Johnny
doing,
Manziel.
Yeah.
Say his name.
Yeah, you don't. I don't.
Yeah,
he doesn't
idiotic.
deserve his name. to be
Yeah,
said.
idiot.
But I mean, he doesn't do anything out of the ordinary to give himself extra press, except give footballs to kids, and people want to give him flack for that. I mean, in the middle of the season, you know, apparently he did some sort of one of his dances included a pelvic thrust of some sort, and then of course the legendary letter from the woman who said her kid was all, you know, messed up because they saw it. If you didn't notice, a couple weeks later, when Carson Palmer did a pelvic thrust, he got fined $15,000. Cam Newton didn't get anything. But I'm just saying, everybody who, you know, I can't even say non-black because I know some black people who want him to fail too. But the thing about it is, if you repping your team, you want him to fail, that's one thing. But if you want him to fail because he is a successful black quarterback in the NFL, then, I mean, I guess we already know where you stand at. That's just real.
What you think, Jay?
Me, like just to piggyback what off he said, it's true. People would just didn't want him to succeed because he was a black man. Me, I'm looking at the game as I want to see a good game. I analyzed it. That's why I went with Denver because I knew they was gonna put the pressure on him and he was not gonna be able to handle it.
Right.
So I really think that with him and everything that went on, I think he will bounce back because he has a good organization and everybody that's around him will pick him up, and he just have to put this media stuff behind him because the reality of the situation is they wasn't hard on Peyton Manning when he walked off the field and didn't shake anybody hand in his last Super Bowl.
Right.
You know, so
Tasha, what you think? You know about Cam Newton? What's going on? What's your thoughts?
I do. Surprisingly enough, I actually watch football. I watch NFL AM every morning.
Get it, girl.
I do.
I'm sorry. That show's terrible. Just
Well, I mean,
Dude, you got a lady that's into football. Let it go.
no, I'm just
What's
saying
wrong
there's
with
other
you?
things she could be watching.
You know,
Pittsburgh
I just
Steelers.
think that, you know, they do too much.
Right.
It's too much. Phil Simms kind of ripped Cam right before the Super Bowl, saying he needs to be more humble. He needs to show more humility. Like, come on. Like, I'm 15-1.
Right. How much humility?
How
you
much
want me to-
humility you want me to show? I've won like every offensive award there is. How much humility you want me to show? Not only that, it's my first Super Bowl. I'm a 26-year-old, 25-year-old black quarterback in the NFL. It's my first Super Bowl. Get your life.
No, I can dig it. Here's what I'll say about Cam. Everything everybody has already kind of said. I'll kind of piggyback on that, but I'll add that I don't have any problem with the Cam Newton that I saw all season.
Right.
You know, with the dancing and the celebrations. I mean, I'm notoriously against end zone celebrations. I don't like them. I think they're a little corny. But, he ain't do nothing that, the discount double check, guy does.
Thank you.
And all of that kind of stuff. And so I just think that culturally, a lot of folks just aren't used to seeing brash, confident, and to be frank, arrogant black dudes that are better at their craft than they are.
Right.
And that offends some folks. And, you know, I've had conversations with people who didn't want to attribute this to race. They wanted to make it 100% about his arrogance. I call bullshit on that.
He's not arrogant.
I do disagree a little bit with that. I think he is a little bit arrogant. But what I will say about Cam is he ain't no different than any other top tier quarterback. He is supremely confident. And to be frank, a lot of folks in the white community just ain't used to how black dudes swag.
Right.
Like, black dudes swag is different than white dudes swag.
Right.
And it doesn't make you wrong for not getting it. It makes you wrong for being an ass about how you express that you don't get it. Now, I will say this. I was on board with Cam through the entire season. Where Cam lost me was last night. He lost me twice last night.
Yeah.
The first time he lost me was on the field, you know, because he was visibly frustrated.
Yeah.
Visibly frustrated, and you can't let that show. You
Yep.
can't, with the old commercial, never let him see you sweat.
Yep.
And then when they beat him up so bad, he didn't even go for
The ball.
the football
Yeah.
when he fumbled it.
Yeah.
And so I got very, very, very frustrated with Cam with that. And then the part that really, really outraged me, Big Rube, was the press conference. You just can't you can't be Mr. Dabbing guy and Mr. Happy guy and Mr. Giving footballs, big grin and all of that kind of stuff the whole season. And then at the end, when you lose, you don't have nothing to say. Or you so mad that you get up and walk out. That to me was supremely whack. It was absolutely immature, and he lost a lot of credibility with me, and it's going to take a while for him to get that back, as would anybody who would do that. It's not about Cam for me, because I lost respect for Peyton Manning when he did walk off the field a couple of years ago when New Orleans beat them. So I see you giving me the faces. What's your thoughts?
I mean, he can't be upset.
Right.
You know, of all the 18 games he's played, let the man be upset for one. I
He
mean,
just
it's,
lost the Super Bowl.
It's okay. And to your effect with the Peyton Manning situation, yeah, he walked off, and I don't even know if he gave a press conference when Peyton Manning left. So I'm not saying he probably did, but let's be real. 3 minutes. I mean, the basic problem is the same problem as always is the media. Having been part of the fun media and stuff like that, their job is to basically pick everything apart and to try to get how you really feel out of every situation. And the problem with that is sometimes they take it a little too far. And I feel like he would not have been treated that way if that was Peyton Manning.
Absolutely not.
I think it would have been different.
Here's where I'm going to disagree with you, though. You cannot perform that way in a press conference and get mad and storm off. You just don't do that. I remember in 2001, as a Yankees fan, in the biggest game in probably the world, right after 9/11, when the New York Yankees played against the Arizona Diamondbacks, and Mariano Rivera gave up the hit that cost him the World Series. And you know what he did? He sat at his locker and he answered every question. Even when they asked him the same question more than once, he answered it every time. He did it with class. Just like Russell Wilson did last year when they ended the Super Bowl on an interception. And he sat there and he took it. You can't pull a Serena Williams. You can't be all super happy when you winning and then you pout with your hoodie over your head when you lose.
But what did you expect him to do?
Sit there and answer the questions like a man. Like a man.
I mean, but he can't be upset that he lost?
He could be upset, but you don't storm off like a big baby.
But you act like he's the only person to ever do that.
Doesn't matter. Because everyone that does that, if you are the face of your franchise and people are expecting to hear from you, it is not appropriate for you to sit there sulking like a baby. You got to win with grace and you got to lose with grace. And if you don't do it, then you're going to take a hit. You're just going to take a hit. And, it looks like you're justifying him, storming off. Like, I get that he was upset. Everybody was upset that wanted Carolina to win. And if you end the game, there's no one that can imagine what it would feel like other than Cam Newton to have the kind of season that they had with the expectations that they had and the scrutiny that he dealt with and all of that. I'm not going to say that I know what it felt like, but what I am going to say is you got to have more class than that.
But what expectations do you speak of? You talking about the ones at the beginning of the year where they're talking about going to the Super Bowl?
Well, I'm talking about the expectations that built up over the season when it was very clear that they were the class of the NFC, and if it was for them, it was Super Bowl or bust. And that, it took time to develop. But I mean, if you go into the playoffs, with a bye and 15-1, like it's a good realistic expectation that you might win the Super Bowl. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying, the key of what I'm saying is, you can't sit at the press conference, pout, get a question you don't like, and then storm off. Not a good look.
He answered 16 questions, man. I mean, I don't understand.
He was there for 3 minutes, man. Come on.
Yeah, but he answered 16 questions. Yes, some of them were one-word answers. Some of them he didn't even answer. Okay. But, when it gets to a point.
We're not going to agree on this one, clearly.
We're not going to, but you must understand that sometimes, on purpose, the media doesn't say what they want to say on purpose to get a reaction. I'm not going to sit here and say, yes, he should have stormed off like a little kid. Nah, he probably should at least wait for 5 minutes and then just, all right, thank you, and be out. The whole beast mode situation, everybody gave him some garbage. You know what happened? He made money off it. It's one of those things where you can sit here and you can sit here and throw stones at the players and stuff like that. But when it's all said and done, the problem is the media has almost too much control, because I think the dude deserved to be upset. It's fine for him to be mad that he lost the Super Bowl. However, I will give you 3 minutes. He probably should have stayed at least for 5.
Okay. I mean, I got you. Like I said, we're not going to agree on this one, because the reality is sometimes when you're being messed with, you got to be bigger than the people that's messing with you, and you mirror that BS that they're giving to you, and you give it right back. All he did last night was justify all his haters. And if you really sit back and you think about it, that there's some truth to that. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Live from the Den, Legacy Internet Radio. Y'all hear this sister on the second Monday of every month. And I'm so happy to tell y'all we got our sister Tony up in this joint. What's up, girl?
Hello, finally. Sorry.
Right. It's all good, man. You amongst your family, even if it's on CPT time.
Hey, watch it. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault.
It's all good. Now, you hear the discussion. You've been in here long enough. You know what we talking about. Cam Newton, what you think? Am I tripping or is Rube tripping?
I'm sorry, Big Rube. I love you to death. But you always remain professional, period. Like you said, you have to be the bigger person, the bigger man, the bigger woman, and remain professional at all times.
Even when you mad?
Yeah.
Even when you mad?
Even when you're mad. That's a part of being an adult. Maturity. Right. Learn how to control your emotions.
Now, you're going to have a lot of people that are going to throw Peyton Manning in the face. And obviously, we're going to come to Peyton last night in a minute. But, I'm not dumping on Cam. Because Peyton was a big punk when he walked off the field, didn't shake Drew Brees' hand. Tom Brady was a big punk pretty much any time he takes the field. Not a fan of that guy.
That's why they booed him last night.
You know what I mean? And so, I don't know. Mr. 3375, what you think about this?
I think he did what they wanted him to do. That's what they was waiting for. They couldn't find really nothing to say bad about this guy. That they went to the dab and, try to take shots at, what he does in the end zone.
Right.
But when Betty White dabs, that cancels everybody else's opinion out.
If you don't
Betty like it, we don't care if you don't like it. Betty White dabs, we don't care what y'all
Come on,
think.
man. That dab thing was done like months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think, like I said earlier, man, I think he'll bounce back from this because he got a good organization and good people around him he'll bounce back from this. They'll have a great season.
Right.
They probably won't go to the Super Bowl because my Cowboys is. But
we're not
he on that crack.
We're not going to
But
do that.
I think it's interesting that
say no to drugs.
I think it's interesting that we're actually talking about this, because let's be honest, most people didn't talk about the Peyton Manning situation when he walked off. It wasn't like mainstream number one news that Cam, acted immature or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
I mean, the fact that we're even talking about it is making it just as bad as everybody else is. And when it's all said and done, the dude lost. The dude had a mental upset fit party. But you know what? He was cool the whole year. And if he gets, why can't he get one? Give him one.
Yeah.
No,
I got you on that. Because I actually, I was having this discussion with someone earlier, and I told him to listen, and hopefully he is. Because I said, he gets this one pass. Watching him last night, though, I got to be honest with you, it was very similar to watching Serena Williams when she loses. Ooh. And anybody that knows me knows I'm no fan of hers. None. Not a fan, not even a little bit. And a lot of it has to do with her lack of sportsmanship. You can't be out there curtsying and doing flips and stuff, when you win in Serena slams, but then when you lose, you can't get a word out of you. That's just not cool.
But this is the first time that we have ever seen the flaw in this man.
Yes.
So, like I said, it'd be one thing if when they went 3-13, he was acting like a little kid then, but he wasn't.
Right.
Basically what happened was what he wanted to say is, his team sucked yesterday.
Yeah.
And it is just not. It's not a situation where I don't like Carolina or anything like that. Carolina was an average team who got some really good breaks, had a really good player in Cam Newton. But he helped mask a lot of issues that they had.
Yeah.
And I thought it was always funny when they talk about Carolina's superior running game. Carolina does not have a superior running game. They have Jonathan Stewart, who didn't even rush for 1,000 yards this year, and you have Cam Newton, who almost did. Let's just be real. I mean,
well, I don't want to take a lot of time breaking down X's and O's.
But he was getting hyped. Carolina was getting hyped up. But that's what Carolina was. What you do with the average team when you get a superstar player who finally realizes what he can do.
Right.
I mean, they're without him, they're 7-9.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I can dig that, but none of that is relevant to the discussion because at the end of the day, they had him and they went 15-1. So I don't care about none of that other stuff. What I want to focus on is the spotlight got put on him, whether it was fair or not. We all can agree that it wasn't fair.
Right.
It was not fair.
Right.
We can agree that it was not fair, but he wilted under it last night. And that to me is the discussion. And also, I think now we're at a good enough time as ever to talk about Peyton Manning. I don't know that I'm really happy that much with Tim either yesterday. Did anybody pick up on anything with Peyton Manning yesterday, or am I tripping? I did something I want to drop, but I want to see if somebody in the room picked up on Peyton.
He even said that, Cam Newton came with him, was very humble and stuff like that. And he said that I don't know if I would have treated him as positively as he treated me after he won a Super Bowl.
Right.
Like, he pretty much said that I'm a sore loser. I've already proved that I'm a sore loser, and I'm going to be a sore loser again. So
you talking about Peyton?
Peyton. Yeah. And then the fact that he's the first person to hold the trophy, he didn't do nothing.
No,
he didn't do a damn thing.
He didn't do
except
anything.
He threw for like 180 yards, an interception,
terrible,
and just handed the ball off.
And a fumble.
I heard some folks. I'm not one of them, but I have heard some folks, and I want the ladies to jump in on this one here because you both have children. You had some folks who had some serious issues with Peyton Manning starting off his victory discussion saying, I'm going to go drink some beers. There were some people that had some issues with that. Tasha, jump in here. Do you think that there's anything wrong with a person who had just basically won the game of his life, probably is going to retire, he'd be wise to, and then to publicly pronounce he about to go get geeked?
So he was going to anyway, whether he said it or not.
No,
I mean, he just won the Super Bowl.
No problem with it?
I don't have an issue with it. Like, I think, Lord, the media, Jesus. It's just too much. Like, everything these people say, everything they do, every move they make is scrutinized to the point to where they can't do anything. Like, I don't care that Peyton Manning said that he's going to go get some beers. Whether he said it or not, he was probably going to go do it anyway.
Yeah.
Like, you just won a Super Bowl.
Right.
Like, when people win an NBA championship, they're in the locker room with bottles of champagne.
And
like,
everybody sees it.
Drinking.
Yeah.
Getting lit
Right.
in the locker room, still in their uniforms, sweaty and everything,
Right.
smelling like the court.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, the reason why I bring it up is because kind of comparing them back to Cam, Tony, when you had people who had issues with the gyrations and help me out with the parent that had issues, and she write a letter or something.
Oh yeah, about the pelvic thrust?
The pelvic thrust. And so if we have issues with Cam doing pelvic thrust, and then you had Peyton Manning go on television right after winning Super Bowl, tell the world he about to get drunk. He didn't say that. My words. I'm having a little fun with it. But what's your thoughts? Is it a non-story?
The pelvic thrust thing, like, football players have been doing that for years. Like, it bothers me more that, like, athletes pat each other on the butt after a good play than it bothers me that people gyrate because they make a touchdown or a good play.
Right.
As far as the Peyton Manning and the I'm going to drink beer, two things.
Yeah.
How many beer commercials are shown during the Super Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
Number two,
Mm-hmm.
how many children are watching the Super Bowl with their parents who are drinking beer?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's all I got.
I was drinking a beer yesterday.
Me too. Me too.
I was drinking a lot of beer.
But
It's so dumb. Like, can I say something about Cam real quick?
Absolutely. Jump in.
Cam is 26 years old, 25, 26 years old.
Yep.
And playing the sport professionally that he loves, just had the biggest game of his life, and he lost.
Yep.
He lost because his team was garbage against Denver.
Right.
Like, point blank. Like, let's keep it funky.
I think he'd tell you that if you asked him. Yeah.
His team was garbage against Denver. Like, I knew they were going to lose the first play. But at the end of the day, like, if you see the press conference, they have them all doing interviews in the same room. There's just like a petition between them.
Yes.
So Denver was on the other side
Yeah.
of Cam's petition.
He could hear them.
And he could hear them.
Yeah.
And they were talking trash, talking about him, you know, as a quarterback, as a man. Any man I know, like, you've already lost the game.
Right.
So you hear another man talking that garbage about you as a man, you going to feel some type of way. He's young.
Right.
He's young, and he still needs to grow up in the game. But, like, you sitting on the other side of me talking this garbage, dude. Like, I don't hear you.
Right.
So would the media have preferred him just let loose?
Which he could have done. And
Which he
didn't.
could have done.
Yeah.
Would they have preferred he just let loose and just been like, yo, like, what you saying, and took it there?
Yeah.
Or would it just been better that he did what he did? It was like, you know what, I'm good.
And I think
I'm
he
out.
was at his breaking point. That's why he
was
walked
at his
off.
breaking point.
I believe he was.
I felt
about
bad
to,
for him.
Just
About to go there.
about to do a Mike Dick or something.
Word,
You know what I'm
like, I
saying?
really felt
Like,
bad
just
for him, like, for real,
Yeah.
because he felt some type of way, and you could see it in his face. He was frustrated. I think he was more frustrated with himself
Right.
and more disappointed in himself because he is the face of the franchise.
Right.
He's the leader of that team. He's the quarterback, and they just lost the biggest game, the game that they've been working for all season. You know, been waiting for all season, all this dabbing and all this other stuff that he do. Okay, and that's no different than Aaron Rodgers doing his discount double check or whatever, or Tom Brady and celebrating, or anybody.
And Ray Lewis doing his hype dance.
Ray Lewis doing his hype dance. And
I ain't gonna lie.
I'm a Ravens fan.
I was glad when he retired, so we didn't have to see that mess no more.
Watch him out.
Hey, don't have Steppin
Watch him
Barkley's
out.
check. Go ahead, Root.
I mean, I don't know if anybody watched it. It was a couple months ago. Robert Flores from the 4 Letter Network, who by far at this point in time is my favorite dude on that network. Apparently, they were doing Sports Center, and they were doing a thing, and it was Travis Kelce, the tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs. Big 6'4" Caucasian dude. He scored a touchdown, and he hit the Quan in the end zone.
Yeah.
And then he was pretty much like, you know, I guess nobody is gonna give him a flag on that. Yeah, because he's not black. And I was like, what? On that?
Wowzers.
He said that joint on live TV. And he was right.
Yeah.
And, of course, no punishment came. But he was right in saying it.
There's a young guy. I don't know the guy's name. I can't. He looks way too young to be retired, but I'm pretty sure he's a retired football player. And I'm sorry, I can't think of his name. But he was on Mike and Mike, and he completely broke it down. You know why? You know, if you don't
Black guy?
Yeah.
Box with dreads on top?
Yes.
Oh, no, he ain't young. He played for the Steelers and the Redskins.
Okay.
He played safety.
It'll come to you.
Yeah.
Landry?
Huh?
Was it Landry?
No.
Well, regardless of who it was, basically the way he broke it down was it's cultural. And we attack what we don't know. We attack what makes us uncomfortable because we don't know it. And, you know, if you play ball in the hood and somebody dunked on you, it's a good bet that you're going to start dabbing or doing the quan. Whereas, you know, if that happened to you in the burbs, you know, unless you from the burbs, you don't know how to react. You know what I mean? If you ain't from the hood, you don't know how to react. And so it's scary to white folk when the hood is brought to their living room in the person of Cam Newton and others, which is the reason why somebody like Peyton, what they call him, the old sheriff, you know what I mean? Like this whole thing about him being upstanding and all this kind of thing, you know, it makes it a little bit easier, especially when you had the youngest quarterback and the oldest quarterback going against each other in the Super Bowl. Let me just address real quick the whole thing about the drinking. I think that is the most asinine thing for folks to want to have a problem with. The fact that they actually, like, you know, you guys both said it best, ladies, when you talked about how, you know, you probably drinking beer with your kid watching that. Yeah. Or, you know, how many, you know, the first commercial was a Michelob Ultra commercial. Yeah. The very first commercial.
Very first one.
You know, the very, very first one.
Well,
go ahead, Ru.
That was actually that was you know how like they do, you win a Super Bowl, I'm going to Disneyland.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
Yeah, I know.
That's why he said, because he clearly said Budweiser.
He made a point of saying that. Now, there's one last thing I want to add to this. Just want to get you guys' opinion on this real quick, and then we'll move on to some other stuff. Bill Romanowski put out a tweet that I think kind of epitomizes the hypocrisy and the lunacy that some of these folks have. His quote says, his tweet says, "You'll never last in the NFL with that attitude. The world doesn't revolve around you, boy." At Cam Newton.
That was Bill Romanowski.
Bill Romanowski. Right? Now, there's a few things in that quote. "You will never last in the NFL with that attitude. The world doesn't revolve around you, boy."
Boy.
That's the first thing that I caught.
That's the first thing I heard.
That's the first thing I heard. Now,
he is a grown man.
Let me just say this for the white folk who don't know. I know some of you guys listen, and you guys are, great, friends of us and all of that kind of stuff. But the reality is, culturally, there's certain things about y'all that we don't know, and there's certain things about us that y'all don't know. And if you don't know, you can't call a black man a boy. If you a white dude, you can't call a black man a boy. Like, that's really like N-word junior. It's like N-word junior.
And the same applies for me for bro and brother. Like, I hate to hear them say that. What's up, bro? What's up, brother? Like,
I'm guilty of that because I call everybody brother.
Oh, I'm talking about them saying it to us. Like, to me, it's not like the boy thing, but it's still, to me, kind of like a...
condescending?
Yeah, exactly.
Think so?
Yeah, I don't like it.
No, I can dig it. I can dig it. I mean, fellas, you'll never last in the NFL with that attitude. Boy.
Well, I mean, first of all, when you said Bill Romanowski, I know the next thing coming behind that was stupidity.
Right.
Because he is a known, idiot. I don't know if he's racist, but he is truly an idiot. And he has made statements, to that effect before about people in the NFL and players and stuff like that. He comes from the old school of, he's a dude who'll take 10 concussions before he comes out the game, and then at that point in time, you probably get a cop to arrest him to pull him out the game. So he has that old school mentality of stupidity, So you said Bill Romanowski. I knew something stupid was coming.
I just want to add one thing to the Romanowski thing, and the reason why I'm adding this because it speaks to the hypocrisy that a lot of folks who have shit on their ledger have the nerve to say something about somebody else. From 95 to 2002, Bill Romanowski was fined by the NFL a total of $79,500 for a variety of offenses that include kicking Larry Sanders in the head, breaking Kerry Collins' jaw, spitting on J.J. Stokes, punching Tony Gonzalez in the head, illegal hit on Trent Dilfer, illegal hit on Fred Taylor, late hit on Roland Williams, and he ripped the helmet off of Eddie George. This is the person that says that Cam Newton will never last in the NFL with that attitude. The world doesn't revolve around you, boy. Jay.
He lasted and he got a Super Bowl ring, right?
Bill Romanowski, I believe he does have a chip.
Yeah,
he got a chip.
Yeah, he played for San Francisco.
Somebody.
He's got at least one.
Well, when I
He spit on
had a conversation with
He's
somebody
still
at work
alive?
today about this statement here, and he looked at it a different way. Black guy, let's throw that out there. He looked at it as
Is he an old black guy?
no, we the same age. Well,
Oh.
he's probably about 2 years older than me.
Okay.
He looked at it as he wasn't calling him boy as a reference to, you know, black people, boy, I'm superior.
Yeah, master boy.
He looked at it as he was Cam Newton was acting like a boy. That's how he looked at it.
I would tend to agree with that because after I had a chance to really think about it, I can see that as a possibility.
Right.
I won't say that I think that's what he was doing.
Yeah.
But I can see that as just the natural lexicon of how some folks talk, like how, you know, folks used to use the F word for gay people towards people who clearly weren't gay. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it just may have been a figure of speech. Either way,
He still shouldn't have said it.
He shouldn't have said it.
He should have kept his mouth closed.
And as black men, you know, we know what that means.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so our antennas,
Yeah.
our antennas are gonna go up. And you know how Steppin Mark said. Last thing I want to get into in this segment, I absolutely was outraged, absolutely outraged that Terrell Owens didn't make it to the Hall of Fame. And I need to know if I'm alone in this one.
Nope.
Because I don't think there's any reason that he's not when he's in the top 5 or 6 in pretty much every single receiving category. Pretty much the issues that you had with T.O. ain't got nothing to do with on the field. The dude played in the Super Bowl with a broken leg. I mean, come on, man. Why is Terrell Owens not a freaking Hall of Famer? I am not a Terrell Owens fan, by the way. Let me just be clear about that because he played for 2 teams that I hate the most. 3 if you include San Francisco in that.
Yeah.
Played for San Francisco, Dallas, and the Eagles. I hate all 3 of them teams. And I was never a fan of T.O. He's the epitome of the kind of athlete that just kind of rubs me the wrong way, just me personally. But for him to not be in the Hall of Fame, dude, for real?
I think he's good to make. He made it that far down the list. I'm with you because you know he played for my boys, and I think he's a legit receiver. He did a lot for the game, good and bad. But I think they didn't let him in because of what the Rams ex-coach had said. And and I quote, he said, "I can't believe Terrell Owens is about to go to the Hall of Fame before Isaac Bruce and Terrell Hope."
I mean, I can dig it. I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
after he said that was a wrap.
I just think that it's,
Well,
you know,
it's personal.
1,000 receptions, almost 16,000 yards, 153 touchdowns. Come on, man. Really, Big Rule? Really?
I mean, Marvin Harrison got in, but you know, it's one of those things where this is the positive and the negative. I hate the Baseball Hall of Fame, and we're not going to talk about that because that's just a joke.
No, I got you.
You know,
But they just pulled the Baseball Hall of Fame thing on
yeah,
this one.
they sure did. And when it's all, but the thing about the NFL Hall of Fame, they're voted on by players. So, you know, if you were a douchebag player, you know, because in the NFL Hall of Fame, being the first ballot Hall of Famer means something.
Yes, it does.
You know, and they did not want to give him that title because honestly, he was a good player, but let's be real, Marcus J, he's kind of a douchebag.
Yeah, you know what though? It should matter. It should matter if it's the Hall of Fame. It's you know, we got dudes that's been to prison that slap their wives around. Like, it's all kinds of assholes in the
I
Hall of
understand
Fame.
that.
And no one can ever say I can't believe I'm defending the guy because I'm so not a T.O. guy.
I don't know why you are.
Because I'm not a T.O. guy, but what's fair is fair. And the dude, you can argue that he's a top 5 receiver of all time. Certainly in our lifetimes. You can argue that. I think that's a fair argument. And for him to not go to the Hall of Fame because he rubbed some folks the wrong way in the locker room, the dude played the Super Bowl on a broken freaking leg, man.
I understand that, but I would say in the NFL,
and the only reason why they didn't win was because their quarterback was on the sideline throwing up like a little punk.
Okay, but I will say in the NFL Hall of Fame, getting the chip means something, man. I mean, they take everything. And the reason why Marvin Harrison got in, other than him, is because Harrison's got chip.
Yeah, all right, I got you.
I mean, I'm not saying it's right. He'll get in next year, no problem.
He's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not the point that he's not going to be in. I think we know he's getting in. But I just think that it was unfair how they did this to him. They put Lawrence Taylor in on the first ballot.
No telling. He did a lot of stuff.
So it is what it is. Ain't no hashtag with Marcus J. Live from the Den, Legacy Internet Radio. We're going to take our first break of the night, and when we come back, we are absolutely going to ask what the hell. When you find out who showed up to this funeral, we're going to talk about that. And what the governor in New York has just done is going to raise some eyebrows and make some folks pretty damn happy. Marcus J. and the crew. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Be back in a few minutes, y'all. Stay with us.
Holistic care for the mind, body, and spirit. Free Spirit Enterprises, LLC is a parent company for Organic Creations, Jewelry by Design, Miller Publishing, and Consultation Services. Organic Creations offers you the best in natural, homemade skin and hair care products. Jewelry by Design allows you, the customer, to design your own jewelry as it is custom made just for you. Thinking of self-publishing a book or novel? Check out Miller Publishing and Consultation Services. Free Spirit Enterprises is where holistic